From NBC News, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Reporting tonight from Seattle.
Good evening from Seattle. This is my third time here. Before we begin the news, I'd like to share a few thoughts with you. There have been a few major changes in the Northwest. Changes that have me wondering whether I ever really want to come back here again. Take the recently rejected referendum. Who really wants to drive all the way out to Shoreline? A godforsaken place anyway, if the girls are going to stand there, shake the groove thing 4 feet away. As Ken Tran would say, if you can't smell them or touch them, you might as well stay in your hotel room and watch SpectreVision. Some changes are good that have occurred here in the Northwest. The Hooters restaurant, which was only in Linwood up until the time, has now made its way to Seattle. The girls there continue to serve hot wings that are just out of this world. And don't be afraid to ask for a little extra blue cheese. And finally, as much as things change here in the Northwest, they continue to stay the same. Take the comedy show Almost Live. It is still on the air and still scraping the bottom of the barrel and still not very funny.
We interrupt this program to bring you the following common sense bulletin.
This just in. A new study shows that it's not such a good idea for a married man to drink all night and then start calling up his old girlfriends. We'll have more on this story as it develops.
This has been a common sense bulletin. We now rejoin our regular program already in progress.
Thank you. Well, gosh, what an exciting, interesting week it's been. Sean Kemp got a new contract. It's not about the money. It isn't about the money. That's what Sean said all last season. Not about the money. Now he's got a new $107 million contract. It's not about... Wait a minute now. By money, do you mean the little green pieces of paper, the legal tender that we can exchange for goods and services in our country? Oh, well, yeah, I guess it was about the money. He's happy there. In other news, the Monopoly people are putting out special editions for different cities, and Seattle just got one. This is true. You know, a bunch of local businesses are represented, although Microsoft isn't, which I guess that would be kind of redundant. Wouldn't it? I mean, it's just like, kind of. You know, I think a house in the original version of the game starts at $50. In the Seattle version, they start $200,000. It's sort of the base price. Another interesting thing, the jail is in Kent, and it's really easy to get out. So it's good. There are some new rules in the Seattle version as well. We thought you might be interested. For example, free parking is now $9 after 6 p.m. $15 if there's a Sonics game. You have to build a Starbucks before you build a house or a hotel. You land on Aurora, go directly to jail. The prostitute you picked up was actually a cop. Pass go, collect $200. Pass Pioneer Square, give $200 to panhandlers. And finally, the rolling of the dice is now under the jurisdiction of the Muckleshoot tribe. Well, I'll tell you, we've got a great show for you tonight, but before we start, we'd like to give you a preview of an exciting new series coming soon to this network, a brand new show.
In the bold new world of emergency medical care, There's a new way.
All right, nurse, what's the story?
Shooting victim, wounds in right arm, left leg, and neck. Appears to be in shock and breathing erratically.
All right. I'm going to need some vitamin C and plenty of it. Give me about 10 cc's of juniper, and then I want you to soak the whole thing in honey and bring it to a boil. Get me some coconut oil, some pumpkin seeds, and some ginger tea. And let's get this man a foot bath stat.
It's Holistic ER.
What do you got?
Boating accident. He's been underwater for 30 minutes with no oxygen. He's not breathing and he has no pulse.
All right, well, let's not stand around. You know what to do.
Aromatherapy?
Exactly. Okay, let's start off with some lavender.
Okay.
No, jasmine.
Yes.
Sometimes it calls for imagery.
Listen to me, boy, listen to me. Your mind is better than any pain pill. You just got to visualize. Now, that fastball that Randy Johnson hit you with, that was not a baseball. I want you to visualize it was a little tiny butterfly that just came down and landed right there. No, you just got to visualize. Open your mind, open your mind.
Sometimes sound therapy.
See how the music is making you forget all about those nasty knife wounds. Now you must eat. Nibble, nibble, nibble. Good.
It's Holistic ER, where even the finest can sometimes make mistakes.
Doctor, you've got to stop blaming yourself. What you did seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Don't patronize me, Margaret. A heart attack patient comes in, and I think that giving him carrot juice is going to do the trick. Carrot juice! It should have been spinach juice, and you know it!
Okay, just stay calm. Let the crystals do their work. You can feel it now, can't you?
It's the bold and natural approach to medical emergencies.
Sir, please try to relax. Listen to me, sir. Listen to me. I'm a doctor. You've been in a horrible accident, sir. You've broken both of your legs. Your lungs are punctured. Your pelvis is crushed. Your skull is fractured. Now, here's what I need you to do. Do you know anything at all about yoga?
It's Holistic ER.
All right, stay with us. We've got a great show, and we're coming right back.
You know, before Oprah, I hadn't read a book in, 12 years. Well, not counting cookbooks, of course.
If I can take a moment of your time and space, I'd like to say that this club and Oprah book clubbers everywhere have reached into my soul and made me feel the words.
Okay, let's get down to brass pins, girls. Our book is She's Come Undone by Wally. I love you, Lamb.
Oh, I could not put this down.
I named a crystal after it.
I like the cover.
God, my family treats me with so much more respect now.
Well, it's because through the Oprah Book Club you've reached a new level of self-esteem.
Yeah, and okay, the main character was so much like me.
Oh, like a mirror.
It was a deja vu experience.
I didn't really like it.
Exactly.
What?
I think Susie just said that she didn't like it. Oh, I didn't really like it. Well, but it's an Oprah.
I know.
No, it's Oprah.
Maybe you're confused about your feelings. Okay, don't you remember that show about people who don't like Oprah books and why they are wrong? Didn't that mean anything to you at all?
Well, it's just that it seemed so...
What?
Stupid.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just that the main character had so many problems. I mean, she had no friends, her baby brother died, her father left, rape, obesity, her mother went crazy and left. She had an angry grandmother she was forced to live with. She struggled with lesbianism. She was a college dropout. She had a crippled friend. Her mother got run over by a piano truck. Her father died of cancer, and her husband cheated on her with his 17-year-old student. Oh, did I leave out the part about the suicide attempt, which landed her in a mental ward for 7 years, where she had to be rebirthed, and she was able to lose 100 pounds by imagining that there was mold on her food? Okay, that part I have to say actually kind of works. Nonetheless, it was all miraculously placated and solved by the end of the book, tied up in a neat little bow. Now, tell me exactly which part of this was like your lives?
I was 17 once.
I I know how to play the piano.
Oh,
kind of.
please.
What's wrong with a smidge of optimism?
Smidge? It was like a romance novel with current issues slapped onto it.
Oh, excuse me, Emily Dickerson. I didn't realize I was so stupid.
It's Dickinson. Look, I'm sorry. It's just not my kind of book.
What is your problem? Let me reiterate to you that this is an Oprah Book Club book. O-P-R-A-H. I hope you understand just who it is that you are criticizing here, Susie.
Okay, you must remember the show Women Who Don't Like Books About Women. It's obvious to me and everyone else that you're masking your feelings.
Is this a daddy issue?
What? No! Come on, you guys. It is just a book.
Oh, you are such a dumbbell, Susie. You cannot not like an Oprah book. What, do you also hate black people?
No!
Oh!
You guys, Susie's a racist! Oh my God! For God's sake, you guys, you are blowing this way out of proportion. For the last time, I have nothing against Oprah, okay? Go Oprah. Okay? Look, I'm just gonna go use your bathroom.
I think that would be best.
Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey. Once you were fat, now you are thin. Turn on the TV and let you in. Come in, Susie's not worthy to worship you. Speak to us now. Let us know what to do. Oh, mighty Oprah!
Oprah's entering her body.
It is not right for Susie to not like my book club choice. I punish her now by removing her voice.
Oprah made a rhyme.
A beautiful rhyme.
You're such a dumbbell, Susie.
Okay, so where were we?
I was saying that it really changed my life. So, can we all turn to page 234, the 24th word?
Okay. Wait, who's ready for an Oprah snack? Stedman's funky fat-free brownies.
Thank you!
Good evening. This is the Late Report. Well, the company that makes applets and cotlets has agreed to stay in the city of Kashmir. They've also agreed that while applets don't really taste very much like apples, cotlets really do taste a lot like cots. The University of Idaho is starting a $200,000 television ad campaign to combat its public image as a remote, isolated party school. Instead, the university would like to be known as a centrally located, easily accessible party school. Local yellow cabs are now being dispatched by computer and satellite on a GPS, otherwise known as Global Positioning System. Next, they plan to outfit each cab with a GAF, also known as a Glade air freshener. President Clinton was in Argentina this week addressing a conference on various topics, and we have some video of his address.
Don't cry for me, Argentine. No.
Obviously a very moving event. Spurred by the publicity of Seattle's Leonardo da Vinci exhibit, one of the leading scholars on da Vinci speculated that if Leonardo were alive today, he would probably be a filmmaker. However, the scholar points out that his films would probably be out of focus and incoherent since da Vinci would be well over 500 years old. University of Washington researchers say they can now use one liver to save the lives of 2 transplant patients with a procedure called the split liver transplant. Also available is a bladder operation known as the split pea transplant. Former BNI gorilla Ivan has had a female gorilla at the Atlanta Zoo show some interest in him by sitting on his lap. Although Ivan didn't know exactly what to do, the female did when she charged him $15 and asked if he wanted another dance. Now, as we previously reported, the Leonardo da Vinci exhibit is now open at the Seattle Art Museum, with the big attraction being the Da Vinci's notebook, the Codex Leicester. And here with a comment is Bill Stainton. Bill?
Thank you, John. Thanks. Nicely done. Well, John, since this whole thing hit town, I've been doing some research, and it turns out that this Da Vinci guy was like super smart.
Really?
Oh yeah. He was. It's like you and me put together.
Wow.
I mean, something like that. You know, he invented helicopters, machine guns, submarines, and this is back in the 1400s.
He invented all that.
He invented all that. He made drawings and everything. I think we have one of his mechanical drawings here. You can.
Oh yeah.
See that?
Da Vinci drawing.
Yeah.
Very
now those
nice.
inventions I just named. The thing is, those are just the inventions that most people know about.
Now, are you saying that
there are other less known inventions by Leonardo da Vinci? Yes, John.
If only there was some way
of obtaining da Vinci's sketches of these other less known inventions? John, are you sitting down?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
I managed to tap into King TV's discretionary fund. As you know, the place is just crawling with cash.
Oh, money all over the place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
So I tapped into the fund, and I was able to purchase 3, up until now, undiscovered pages of a Leonardo da Vinci notebook, which I have named, in honor of King TV, the Codex Anderson. Now, let me show them to you.
Let me see. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, isn't it though? Isn't it?
All right, let's see what we got here.
Okay, now the first one here demonstrates just how far ahead of his time Da Vinci was. Even back in the 1400s, he had come up with the basic idea for X-ray specs.
Oh, look
See
at that. Wow.
Now, look. See, here are the specs down here looking at a clothed woman.
Yeah.
And here's what the guy sees.
Oh, look at that. A naked woman there. That's
right.
Yeah.
From the 1400s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Technology that we are still perfecting to this day.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. This next one is a follow-up to Da Vinci's famous studies of fluids. Okay. This clearly shows that it was Leonardo da Vinci who first invented the Mickey's wide mouth.
Wow, look at that.
See that? It's amazing.
Uh-huh.
See? Now up here, up on top, you see is the regular beer bottle, and down below it, there's the wide mouth.
You get more Mickeys.
See? And Da Vinci knew that 500 years ago.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Okay. This next one, though, is really going to blow you away. Are you sitting down?
I am.
Okay, good. Take a look at this.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Wow. Oh, the Thigh Master. Is that right?
A rudimentary Thigh Master. Isn't that incredible? And look at where he got his idea from.
Oh, look at that. A chicken bone. Yeah, from a chicken.
A 500-year-old chicken.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
So apparently, Da Vinci really was a Renaissance man then.
He was an Italian.
Well, yeah, plus sure. Well, thank you, Bill.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you. Bill Stainton, Codex Anderson. Finally, the Buffalo Bills fired former University of Washington quarterback Billy Joe Hobart after he admitted to not preparing for a game. In a statement, he defended himself by saying, "It's not the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life." Turns out the dumbest thing Hobart has ever said is, "If I'd been born with a little cottontail, I'd look a lot like a bunny, but only if I wasn't wearing pants." This has been the Late Report. We'll be right back, and I'm not wearing pants either.
And now, it's time for the weather with Brian Dickson.
Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Brian Dickson here with tonight's weather forecast, which I was just informed exactly 30 seconds ago is going to be meteorologist Brian Dickson's final weather forecast on this television station. So let's get right to it. We've got some high pressure building here off the coast, a lot of heavy pressure to get Brian Dickson out of here, even though he worked his butt off for this station for 7 years. This system's going to bring with it some heavy winds, which will hopefully cause a great big tree to fall over and crush 2 or 3 of the station's stupid-looking news vans. Temperatures around the country, 67 degrees in the 12th largest market of the country, Minneapolis-St. Paul, where Brian Dickson turned down a very nice offer a couple of years ago because he was made a lot of promises, to stay here instead. Now take a look at that 72-degree temperature over there in New York City, where Brian Dickson had a close friend with ABC who said that the Good Morning America weathercaster job was Brian Dickson's for the asking. But Brian Dickson didn't take that job because Brian Dickson had the silly idea that loyalty counted for something. Okay, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. Sunny and warm, which should be of great interest to a certain news anchor who always seems to call in sick on days like that. Well, it looks like Brian Dickson's getting the hurry-up sign over there, and that's probably so we can zip over and show you some lame live report from a street festival, which if anybody watching this moronic newscast cared a rat's ass about, they'd be at. So that's it for meteorologist Brian Dickson, who actually is a meteorologist, but that obviously doesn't really matter around here, because unfortunately, what Brian Dickson is not is a blonde bimbo with gigantic hooters who's banging the headboard with the news director every night. So there's your stinking weather!
This has been the weather with Brian Dickson.
All right, well, that's just about all the time that we have tonight. Want to thank you guys all for coming out, and if you want to come and get tickets, there's the number. We want you to come down because you guys all had a great time here, didn't you? We want you to share the experience, but in the meantime, I just want to thank you for inviting us into your homes because they're much nicer than ours. So until next week, bye-bye.